Oh, it's still very important, you know, it's kind of where we're from, it's home, and it's kind of always going to be that way, whether you like it or not, and we like it. You know, I think the songs on the first album have a stronger connection to Sheffield because obviously they were all written here, and there was a time when I kind of never thought they'd go any further than, well, High Green even, which is where we're from, but it turned out that those situations that were being described in them songs were kind of happening in a lot of other places as well.
And how come all these words? Oh, there's a very pleasant side to you, a side I much prefer.
Since then, the album's perhaps lyrically anyway, like less so connected, but I still think there's, even in the sort of the way I sing and obviously like the colloquialisms still kind of crop up.
She's thunderstorms lying on her front.
The new album, some of the tracks in the way they're sort of tuneful and romantic, they remind me a little bit of Richard Hawley. And I just wondered if you shared influences or if he was an influence on you.
Definitely. I mean, I take that as a compliment. I love Richard and I love his music. I sort of always have. But yeah, I'd say he's definitely an influence on me, and perhaps he's turned me on to loads of good stuff.
Oh, open up your door, 'cause we've time to give.
Do you see that style as being a Sheffield thing or particular to this region? Like Richard's, that romantic, I want to say crooner, but I don't know if that's considered a dirty word.
I don't know. I mean, I don't consider it to be that dirty. And the Tony Christie thing, that was the dropped stitch there, was because I think Tony approached Richard wanting to cover a song of his, and then Richard was like, well, why don't we sort of do the record? And one song Richard picked was this Only Ones Who Know from our second album, and when I heard that version I was just like, finally, you know what I mean? It's like right when Tony sang it and his band played it and with the strings and everything.
In a foreign place, the saving grace was the feeling that it.
How easy is it to sort of remember where you're from when you've moved away and you get to travel about?
I don't know, for us, and the fact that it's the four of us as well, and you know, nobody had kind of ever let each other forget where they're from or kind of grow a ridiculous ego. I think that's part of the fact that we were kind of mates since we were like 7 years old or something. That kind of helps us bypass a lot of that nonsense.
I'm sure you could have made it that bit better on your own. You are the only ones who know.
I like it when a band's got a sense of humour, whether it's in the lyrics or in something else that they do. I used to, when I kind of first started writing songs, I thought of it less of like kind of songwriting, I suppose, and more like a few quips to sort of make me friends laugh. And I guess that's just always sort of stayed with me in one way or another.
Go into business with a grizzly bear.
This week you're probably going to knock Lady Gaga off the top of the album charts.
Is that right?
Yeah. What do you make of her?
Of Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. She's like a motorbike on the front of the cover, isn't she? I mean, anyone who's like has that idea is sort of all right with me. You know what I mean? Like, can't imagine that meeting. Like, I've got an idea for the cover. It's me, but I'm a motorbike. You know what I mean? But she is a motorbike, though. It's like she's not on a motorbike or anything. She's like, alright, it's going to be a picture of me. I ain't got a body. My body's a motorbike. I mean, that's impressive, you know.
What would you be if you had to be a vehicle?
What would I be? Yeah, don't know. Speedboat, maybe. Hovercraft. She's kind of took the best one, really, hasn't she, with motorbike?
I wanna build you up. I wanna break you down.
And just in terms of guitar music, obviously it's sort of in a different place now than it was when the first album was out. Does that bother you, or what do you think of that?
I sort of don't think the fact that doesn't have that presence now means that it won't in 6 months or a year, or rock and roll. It's just sort of like ready when you are, really. I think that's the thing about it, and it kind of has always been like that, and there's something about it that kind of can't really argue with when it sort of has that energy, and it just, the first time you hear something like that, like I remember it, you know, it's about feeling, isn't it? you don't have a choice. You're just like, all right, I'm going over here, sort of thing.
The beast in me is caged by frail and fragile bars.
I'm always kind of finding, you know, new bands I've never heard of or whatever. I think I kind of get that thing every couple of months, I think, where I'll like hear a tune and it'll be like, all right, that's what it's about again, and it's kind of like a reset, and you think, oh, in terms of me as the songwriter, like thinking about what I want to do, I'd never heard that tune by Nick Lowe called The Beast in Me until like a few months ago, and I heard that song, and I remember that was a moment where it was like, start again then.
God help the beast in